Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Boom Radio. Boom Radio. Keep listening. Don't touch it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is BoomBar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Dolupo, and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar this very interesting afternoon. It is another Tuesday where we're going to be giving you everything about sports, politics, entertainment, and everything else in between. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about a few things. The NNPC is on the hot seat again. The Auditor-General is indicting the NNPC as far back as 2021. The CBN is in court. People have taken CBN to court saying that they attacked them unjustly and they are asking for compensation. The Canadian Prime Minister is resigning, Ghana is getting a brand new president, the way life works. Abuja, there's a bomb that happened in Abuja, in a school in Abuja, killing 2 people, 4 injured. We're going to be talking about it. Also, there's curfew in Ondo State. There's a lot of discussion here and there. Also, there's a lot of back and forth also with the governors and the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms that the chairman on that has quite a number of things to say when it comes to the governors. So that and a lot of other things we're going to be talking about today at the bar. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Dolupo. I bid you a warm welcome. And with me in the studio today is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the bar.
Okay, so as we're getting right into it, like I had said, there are quite a number of conversations that we're going to be talking about today. First things first. President Tinubu is in Ghana, though. He went to Ghana for Mahama's inauguration, basically. And the new Ghanaian president had a lot of interesting things to say about President Tinubu. It seems like it's only some Nigerians that don't like Tinubu. They seem to like him outside the country a lot. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there also. Before we forget, the Senate is set to pass the 2025 budget January 31st. So that we're going to be talking about at a later time. But the first thing is that the NNPC has been indicted. The Auditor-General has indicted the NNPC and everybody involved in a 514 billion naira alleged fraud as far back as 2021. So looks like the Auditor General's office is auditing, because it's not the first conversation in the past couple of weeks about the NNPC. So apparently NNPC is what they're auditing at the moment, and the Auditor General's office has said that there is a likely 514 billion naira after the end of the 2021 year. Why that? Why that
what exactly?
500 that reaction.
500 and what?
Yeah. BT says, no disrespect, but is Ghana really a country? Wow. Y'all have no chill, do you?
Apparently it is. It's a country.
It is a whole country.
I think it's when you're going down the west coast of Africa, it's the country situated after Togo.
I think there's talks about the president. Sorry, why did I say governor? The president of the new Ghanaian president talking about Tinubu will be the new head of Ghana or something, or be the head of Africa. It made some very interesting. You made a very interesting statement today that a lot of people are going on about. But Ghana is a country.
After Togo.
Let's not go there. Your people are just. Let's not go there.
My hand is not there.
Anyway, so back to NNPC.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people have always suspected. There's a reason why there's this mutual disrespect and fear and disdain for a lot of these government parastatals. Do you understand? And when you now start hearing stuff like this, you start to say, okay, well, we always suspected it all along, and the humongous amount of money that's involved is numbing. It's the kind of stuff that leaves you bewildered. You start to speak grammar like me now, like you don't even know where to start from.
Yeah.
But I always say it, and how would it be so easy and possible for people to steal this much money?
So, according to the to the Auditor-General's office, they're saying that this include deductions worth 343.6 billion naira from domestic crude sales at source, warehousing of 83.66 billion naira, unauthorized deductions of 82.95 billion from the Federation Revenue for refinery rehabilitation.
The same refinery.
Yeah. And unsubstantiated payment of 3.75 billion naira shortfalls from the sale of petrol. Before you go on with that, BT says, by the way, why did Obasanjo honor the invitation of the NNPC? No, I'm sure. I want to say he did not too.
Maybe he said he's trying to write.
Maybe
didn't.
Didn't.
Well,
Baba said
according
that
to his assistant,
disrespectful.
Yeah, they said it's disrespectful to the office of the former president.
There's that office of the former president.
According to what we read online.
But why is it disrespectful? You don't think it works, and they are trying to show you that it works. Is it so hard? Like you're holding on to your.
He also said that no formal invitation had been sent. Or that is only the ones that they've read about in social media.
Okay.
So maybe they should.
So he's waiting for as the office of the former president.
They should get their printer now to make a wedding.
Now you're just
make
pushing it.
Special invitation.
Yes, that as office of the former president.
Former president.
Or 1999 president.
1999 to
2007 president.
Yes. You must respect the
Don't
office.
Let me say what I want to say.
Respect the office of the former president.
Don't let me say what I want to say.
Don't say it though.
Let me just keep quiet. Anyway, back to NNPC.
Like I said, it's numbing. It's it's a lot of things, and this is what Nigerians have always talked about. Like, you don't trust these people. Again, look at all the grammar. When they want to do all this, their hocus pocus, they start warehousing of what?
What are you warehousing?
Is it not that CBN was supposed to keep everybody's money? What happened to Treasury single account? What happened to everything going through the same channel? Then deduct at source on crude oil. Sale of crude oil again. There's a reason why we're hearing rumors of a change of guard at the helm of the NNPC, because I don't know if the current MD and the other people there are indicted, or maybe it's just a department or a group of people.
It's actually NNPC.
Yeah, because I don't know. So, but are we going to continue having these discussions? Almost every month, there's this huge fraud that is uncovered somewhere, and it's almost as if the judgment is not as swift as it should be. Yeah. My own is that if you have not concluded your investigations, don't even go to press.
Yeah.
As soon as you are done with the investigation, we should be hearing of arrest immediately. Except you are just playing to the gallery. But this amount of money, monies, because the ask is plural. There's some money that you cannot even speak proper English for.
It's ridiculous.
Nah, it's crazy. But what's going to happen now? Are they going to be arresting people from today?
I don't know.
Or is it business as usual?
My question is that is it Mele Kyari that was NNPC? What's it called? 2021.
I think it's been there since that time. But let's be double sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to check actually.
I just know that it's scary that they've uncovered this. Now, the sad part about this is that most of the things that we've always heard is about the Office of the Accountant-General. At least the last 2 or 3 have been indicted one way or the other. But now, that same person now has something on
oh yeah, so yeah, he's been the MD since 2019.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
So it's him that this conversation.
I know, and you know that you hear that he's fighting to retain his
position.
His position.
But since 2019, Oga, we're in 2025, like 6 years. Is it not enough? Are you the only one? Oga, please go. Go, just go. It's time
Come and
go.
start to begin to be good. But which of the homes
you're not the only one in the whole country.
If it's truly indicted, which of the homes are we talking about?
I don't know.
Because even Serap is already telling him to account for missing 825
But there has to be.
billion.
The honest truth is, whether we like it or not, there has to be some level of accountability. We can't continue like this. And
once in a while, like a bad clock, Serap is correct. Because a clock that is bad, that is stuck on maybe 4 o'clock, will be correct twice a day. Now 4 a.m. and 4 p.m.
So on this one, I think I agree with you. I agree with them, yeah?
Of course, they're saying account for 825 billion missing, 2.5 billion on refinery repairs.
It's very interesting. I'm talking about accountability, yeah, and let's go on from that and go on to the conversation of this tax reform bills. This matter is not going anywhere anytime soon.
It shouldn't.
And this matter erupted again when there was an interview with the chairman on the presidential committee on the tax reforms, and there's been a lot of indictments on that committee saying that the committee are just doing whatever it is they like.
No, a lot of people are saying that they are not carrying people along. They just went ahead and made those pronouncements.
That they are not carrying people along and all that. However, the man has now come out to make a lot of declarations. First things first, attacking the governors or putting
I would not use the word attack though.
Or setting the record straight. So he said that the Nigerian Governors Forum had talked about how, especially the northern governors, had talked about how they were not carried along. And he had talked about how they had invited this committee 4 different times and they had cancelled. And the 5th time they were going to they had delayed them up until 1:30 a.m. the next morning. And when they asked them to come, it gave them 15 minutes. And then the first thing they had told him was that, Oga, how do you increase revenue? And he was like, he had to tell them, even in 15 minutes, I can't explain it to you. And they just basically rushed him out. And that was it. He said they also wrote letters to governors to also explain things to them and all that. And he said that it's only Governor Sanwo-Olu and Governor Ubasani, that's the Lagos State Governor and the Kaduna State Governor, that ever got back to them. So if all this is true, isn't it just that it's just agenda at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's agenda. It's people. Look at it. The lawmaker that was vociferous about this, the one that spoke the most about it.
That never read it.
And they asked him live on TV, I think it was on Channels TV or something. They asked him, and so what did you feel, or what do you see from the bill? He said he hasn't read it. The reason why he quickly said he hadn't read it was because the next question would have been specifics. They would have had to say things like, okay, so this point or that point, what's your take on it? But he quickly tried to buy time. But he also exposed the political class. If something does not suit them, they don't care. Now, so there's this perception that it's targeted at people. But I know that people will resist change because it is different. Not necessarily because it is
It's
bad,
bad, yeah.
and because it's not them initiating that discourse or that
But
plan.
there's a huge conversation where low-income people who the supposed governors are fighting for
Okay,
are
listen.
not going to get taxed.
Here at the bar a few days ago, one of our topics and headlines was that organized labor in Nigeria, that's the Labor Congress that is supposed to be the hope of, is telling the government withdraw a bill. Why would you even have the effrontery to tell anybody to withdraw a bill? Constitutionally, that's not how things work. There's going to be a public speaking, or who is your senator, who is your House of Rep member, go to them and tell them you want them not to vote for the bill. But telling someone that brought a bill to withdraw it, I think is even messed up in the first place. Now, and they're saying that people who earn the least will be exempt from paying taxes, certain taxes, and you are saying they should withdraw the bill. That's agenda right there.
So I honestly think that the real.
I thought you were going to take me off or something.
Oh, okay. Apparently, it's worked. So one of the major issues that I think that I don't want to say is illiteracy, because I've seen a few people who are supposed to be learned that are supposedly against this bill. I don't know whatever the agenda is, or maybe we'll say that, okay, take for example Lagos State and Kaduna State, for example, that he had said those were the governors that got back to him. Yeah, we'll say, oh, Lagos State has the highest IGR, so they probably understand better. However, if they go by this bill, there's always the conversation that it doesn't even favor a state like Lagos State. But also, when you also look at the trajectory of Kaduna State as well, before this new governor, we saw how El Rufai had really, there was a time where even the FDI coming into the country was even greater than what was coming to Lagos State. He could achieve it. So it's safe to say that even Kaduna State is on a trajectory that a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
So he gets it.
Yeah, but that's the idea. A couple of these governors understand the need for these tax reform bills to be passed. They get the advantage as against the court case that is pending. If they get that judgment, Rivers State and Lagos State, if they get
it's
that
even
judgment,
going to be worse.
and it's going to be at the Supreme Court, which definitely cannot be changed. It's just going to be at the
Exactly.
highest level. And people should look at it and take this current deal, because, again, if you really do care about the people, if you claim that you care about the people, being tax exempt for certain lower cadres of Nigeria's strata and Nigeria's economy would be a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah, we've always
saying,
said
saying that they are earning so little, and the tax that they could have paid, they can divert it into other things, For instance, you can save enough money and marry a second wife now, since you're not paying taxes.
Anyway, we have a comment. Peterman says, we're not going to vote for Beulah Adiola in Oyo State for governor. We don't want a repeat of Bertie Akeredolu in our state.
Oh, wow. So,
okay, so
I've been folling that story.
I've been seeing that name, but I'm like, who's that?
I've been following that story on social media. So apparently, I think is a PDP member in Oyo State. This is a young man, somewhere in his early 40s, and very experienced. He's got some fantastic credentials, and he's doing a lot of charity work here and there. And apparently a post that he made last year, when his family had gone to some orphanage or somewhere in Ibadan to give out some relief materials, has now come back to bite him. In that post, he was excited and he put the names of his wife and his 2 children.
Yeah.
Now, one of them had an Igbo name and the other had an English name.
So I'm guessing
and
his wife is
Igbo too. And it's coming off the back of Mrs.
Betty Akeredolu and her shenanigans.
And she's been on social media, firing,
the honest truth is that you can't blame people if they do that. But however, I was also going to put out a parallel.
Okay.
So last elections, the person that ran against Makinde in Oyo State was Teslim Folarin.
Yeah.
The honest truth was that it was basically the only opposition that Shea Makinde had.
Yeah.
That was really tight. Yeah.
Yeah. Bayo also contested, but it wasn't
that close. So there was probably a possibility that Tessin Folari could have won.
Yeah, without a wife.
Without a wife. However, if his wife had not died, his wife is not Yoruba.
So guess what people
and
have
I'm
been
not
saying?
sure that conversation ever came up.
So guess what people have been saying?
Yeah.
In the last 20 years, Oyo State has not had a Yoruba first lady.
The current first lady is not Yoruba, true.
Yeah, and that's about 6 years now.
Yeah, Ajimobi's wife is not even Nigerian.
So that's 8 plus 6.
Who was that? Oh, no.
8 plus
not.
6.
Okay, 8 plus 6, that's 14 years. Okay, before him was Akala now. No, Akala's wife
They said he had one Yoruba wife and he had...
he had numerous wives.
I'm just
so that
telling
one you cannot say.
What people from Oyo State are saying.
Adewale Ladoja too. That man too had quite a number.
Yeah.
But the first lady.
So what?
But the first ladies of those people were actually Yorubas.
So what they said, I think it's 15 or 20 years or whatever, that they've not had a Yoruba first lady in Oyo State. Actually, I know that you guys will not like what I'm about to say, but it really shouldn't matter.
So, I don't think it should matter. Why I said it shouldn't matter is
because everybody's not drawing a parallel with
Ondo State. So, if I will go back to Ajimobi's wife, okay, maybe accept that woman's complexion. She's very, very even grassrooty.
She's probably more Yoruba
than a lot of people. Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. So the current first lady of Oyo State is not even a very vocal person. You hardly even ever see her compared to.
I don't think she would do
Ajimobi's wife.
She would do a Betty on.
I think
Oyo
that
people.
Mrs. Betty is just who she is as a person. I don't think that
probably
we should.
She was curtailed by the presence of her husband.
Yeah. So her husband not being around anymore just escalated love thing. So okay, BT says, Ogashola, please level charity work, I beg. Betty filled the civil service with her people, even spent Ondo money building roads in Imo.
Wow.
Sheyi's wife is doing the same. Enough is enough.
Wow. Are you sure you have proof of this thing?
I don't know about
okay,
that.
so I've heard the story
BT
about...
says, first ladies must be Yoruba going forward. Okay. Peter Man says, Shola, please, will they allow a Yoruba first lady in the East? This is why I get angry with liberal Yorubas. You can't be liberal when everybody else is conservative. Namu won't be that.
Okay, so the thing is, being liberal and marrying regardless of tribe is that's liberal too, right? Then it seems like a lot of Yoruba men are liberal.
No, I think generally, a typical Yoruba person is actually very liberal.
Osun State, the governor's mom is Igbo, right?
The governor's mom?
Yeah, the current governor.
Oh yeah.
And he's also married to someone.
Yeah.
One of his wives is also from the East.
I think that Osun State one is like there's something. Yeah. But I think that a typical Yoruba person.
A lot of Yoruba
I know that maybe they're quite more conservative in the East and even in the North. But I think a typical Yoruba person is way more liberal than everybody else. So you will most likely see more people marry more men, Yoruba men marry women that are not, and I'm not sure that at the point of getting married,
it shouldn't matter.
Thought
though.
of
Remi Tinubu is not fully Yoruba though.
She's not Yoruba now.
She's not fully Yoruba, she's half Yoruba or something.
Yeah,
she's Shekiri or something.
Yeah, but she's not.
But you're not going to come and say that
Yoruba.
You don't want her to be a first lady in Lagos when she was there because
she was.
So I don't think it's about the tribe. I think it's about the individual.
Yeah,
in this particular matter,
I think
if we look at it, with an open mind, I get where Yoruba people are coming from, and it is valid.
It's valid though because we can see the drama that Mrs.
I get it. That woman is not a good example.
Yeah.
She's not a good example.
Quite a lot of vile things that she puts on social media.
Just going off and saying all sorts of
I
things,
agree.
cussing people out and all of that. But I don't think we should generalize.
People's fears are valid, But I don't think we should generalize. I
O-
don't think
Oyo
that
State, let me
one
ask you.
person
I'm
should
glad you brought it.
change who you are as a person.
I'm glad that Peterman brought it up as an Oyo person. You're a stakeholder. Would you want to let go of someone who looks like very eminently qualified solely for this reason?
Yeah. BT says, I agree. Even myself, don't withdraw my support for Yayi for governor in Ogun State. Giving contracts meant for indigenous to non-indigenous, I'm really upset.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was a one of those what are those things called signposts that the name of the company, one of the companies that got the job was from maybe it wasn't, not maybe it's not there, but again,
But where does...
aren't those things sponsored from Abuja and all
Yeah,
of that?
other than that, where does competence come in this matter? Because if we put everything down to ethnicity and being an indigene,
So the
and all
response to that would quickly be
what?
the response to that would quickly be that have you tried the indigens first and you've found any of them incompetent? Do you understand? There's a way I've heard people respond to that, like charity begins at home and all of that. But at the end of the day, guys, look, that's Yayi bringing development to his senatorial district, and would that be enough to disqualify him?
Man,
But I
think
get
that
on-
the way we're
I'm not
pushing
adverse.
it,
I'm not adverse to people protecting their own. I'm not. I am Yoruba. I'm not. And I would never denigrate my people for no reason. You get. But again, we're still in this contraption called Nigeria, and we have to protect Nigeria too. Except we're able to sit down, and I've always said it. The people in the East are saying they want IPOB. What's that republic again?
Biafra.
USB.
Oh, some people, because
Yeah, some
for
people
the past
want it.
few days now, there's been a lot of insults back and forth.
Yeah, so but some people want it. I'm
Um,
saying if we have to sit down to check it and say, okay, the Northerners, what do you want? The Southwesterners, and again, even in the North, they still have.
Yes, sir. Now there's
Different
even
divisions.
the conversation now
Now-
that there are no Hausa governors. You know that
Is
conversation
the only governor?
is brewing
Can
now.
you mention an Hausa president in the history of Nigeria?
Anyway, Peter Badizo said the father of the children is who names the child. It's a sign of weakness in Yoruba land when the wife is the one that names the child. I don't agree with that, sir. I don't think.
But
I
we dey share
agree
these
with
things,
that.
though.
I don't think I agree with it.
We dey share them.
Uh,
In my house, we shared it.
Funny enough, growing
And
up, I think I had
it was-
asked a question
Yeah.
with my mom before, and she was very vehement that she wanted to name her children. And why?
So
She was
it's
like,
saying it's a sign of weakness.
yeah. So according to her, she's like, the child already has your son name anyway.
Then again,
I
you
would
know,
like
you know
to
that
have the
everybody
first
names
name.
children. Like even the father will still give a name.
Exactly.
The grandfathers
So
will give names.
Everybody
Grandmothers will give
is
names
a
and
thing.
all of that.
I don't think that we should go down that route. Anybody can give it. Some people's first names today are probably even given to them by their grandparents.
Am I weak? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that we're pushing this agenda too much. But the honest truth is that if we see the way Mrs. Betty Akeredolu has evolved
Now she caused this walada.
in the past few months,
She didn't evolve.
It's
She's just unraveling. like-
unraveling. Do you understand? It is enough to actually skip like what is happening here. BT says, please, we don't want a Chinedu Gbare boy in Yoruba. I mean in leadership. Oh God. Okay, I honestly think that there was nothing wrong with Mr. GRV. I think that hold on. I think that he shot himself in the foot because he put himself in a position like stick to your guns. If you're going to contest as Chinedu Gbadebo, you came back and then you suddenly remember that you're no longer Chinedu again. Oga.
So, there've been a lot of parallels drawn, some comparisons have been made. And the thing is that people are saying that if there's a pattern, you must study it and
nip it in the bud.
Yeah. So, of course, him saying in the past how...
And then the statement of, I don't think in Yoruba,
That's one. But even before then,
what?
he has tweets that is using the Afonja phrase in a derogative way. Then saying that you support
I think
separatists
he was just. I
and all
think
of
he
that.
was just. It's just not.
But those are his views.
Okay.
Those are his views.
That's his views.
Those are his views.
So one needs to be careful.
So
with
that's
those
why
I get your
he
point.
now culminated in him saying it doesn't think in Yoruba and all of that. And the funny thing is, what do you mean you don't think in Yoruba? Is it a bad thing to think in Yoruba? People think in Igbo. People think in Hausa. Why would you not think in Yoruba? It shows that you don't see yourself as Yoruba.
I think that
Kemi Badenoch, that's what I always call her.
Badenoch.
Badenoch. Bade one oruko. Kemi Bade.
It's not Bade.
No, Bade no. So Kemi Badenoch is someone that people don't like, right? A lot of people don't like. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
She even came out to tell them that she sees herself as Yoruba than Nigerian.
Wait, well, but if you also look at that angle,
And you are now
being a
contesting in Nigeria,
being a Yoruba person is actually far more than just being Yoruba.
Yeah.
Just being Nigerian. Do you understand? There are Yoruba people that are not Nigerian. So when you look at it from that angle,
I get why people don't trust
first ladies
the
and
Labour
this
Party
issue
governorship
is,
candidate
this
in
issue
Lagos.
is coming up and all that. But
I get where people are coming from. Honestly, I get it.
So it's safe to say
and
that
it's a survival thing.
People are going to complain if in future someone like Tinubu wants to be Lagos State Governor.
Why do you say that?
His wife is not Yoruba.
His wife is not Nigerian, no.
Exactly.
There shouldn't be any complaint now. The complaint is about if she's like a Betty, we should do a Betty. You know, but
oh God!
But you'll be surprised, guys, that there are actually good people everywhere.
I think that
it's just that this particular individual,
mommy just decided to
She became, maybe it's because she's grieving. Maybe.
How many months she used to grieve after a year?
Trust me.
I beg. I don't think she's grieving. I personally think that who she is. Like you had said, it seemed like her husband had been curtailing her a lot. So the man dying we
have to look at every possibility.
It just went off. That's what I feel. Anyway, let's go on to a bit of conversations with a bit of governors. First things first, before we go to governors, Solid Minerals Ministry are now floating a TV drama set to market the mining sector. So I think it's starting at the end of January. If you have NTA, I think they're going to be showing it only on NTA.
Yeah, if they're smart, they need to put it on YouTube also.
I was going to say, so like put it on YouTube.
And if it's good enough, you might even put it on Netflix and the others.
Yeah, put it on YouTube. That's the least you can do.
So again, I've read people. I try to read comments a lot. And a lot of people do not know what they are doing in that ministry. And it's been a ministry that has achieved very little in recent times.
Yeah.
Not even in history.
Not even the kind of solid minerals that Nigeria has. But it should not be.
But the funny thing is,
should be competing with the petroleum industry.
The funny thing is, I make bold to say that I think they're onto something big this time. I've been following their strides in recent times. And you see the moves that the president made on their behalf in India, and of course the vice president was in Russia way before that time. And now they have, the company that actually built Alaja, still Delta, all those companies.
Yeah,
they're back in touch with them, and it's looking good. The Indian steel magnates they voted what they are going to invest in Nigeria.
So it's fingers crossed.
Yeah,
but
I see a bright future for that ministry. This movie or this series, I would have thought that hopefully maybe at some point they will put it on YouTube. But it's a smart move.
It's an easier way to.
It's a smart move.
Connect to people and
to sensitize people.
Yes, entertain them, and it's a way to draw people.
Inform them.
It's entertainment. People would probably get information better like that. Now let's go on to governors. As Bauchi Governor has reshuffled his cabinet and sacked 5 commissioners. It's like it's
funny. Like there's this trend that you guys would have noticed in Nigeria. When we have
whatever happens at the top,
when we have a president
that
is from a particular part of Nigeria and dresses a particular way, people start to dress like that.
Yeah.
I remember when Obasanjo was there, and there was a time he was pushing this Adire thing, and Nigeria, and people were dressing like that. When Yaradua came, people started wearing these long Senegalese, and they were wearing agbadas and all of that, Babarigas, because Babariga is even from Agbada. If you check the type of sewing that it is. What I'm saying also is that the style of governance also trickles down. Throughout Buhari's tenure, you can't really talk about a cabinet reshuffle.
Reshuffle, yeah.
Apart from the fact that maybe he dropped 1 or 2 ministers in the second term, the first time it took him almost a year to even pick his cabinet in the first place. And when he finally picked the cabinet,
nothing changed.
These guys were there, whether they were messed up or not, whether they were performing or not.
Most of them were messed up.
And a lot of them were returned.
Most of them. I think, most of them
apart from Dalong or 1 or 2 other people, they've actually brought back everybody. Then when 2 others were now dropped, and that was it. No cabinet reshuffle. And now that the federal ministers know that they have a senior prefect. They have a senior prefect.
And you can be sacked.
Adiza Bala Usman or something. I mean, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
She's the senior prefect. She's checking them out and takes their report card to the headmaster. So you get it now that some were sacked recently, some were brought on, and some were taken to other ministries.
Yeah.
And that's what the governors are now doing.
Yeah, it looks like it's I think this is the third or fourth one that I've seen in the past 1-2 weeks.
Yeah.
So according to the Bauchi Governor at the moment, the Commissioner of Education, the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Commissioner of Information and Communication, Commissioner of Agric, and Commissioner of Religious Affairs and Societal Orientation have all been sacked.
You're fired.
You're fired. You're fired. All y'all are all fired. Anyway, still going on with governors. Governor Aiyedatiwa has imposed curfew on Ondo community over called clashes. So there were actually called clashes in a particular area, and I'm wondering, like, we're in 2025.
Oh, you think those things disappear with time? Like when the clock changes, the cults disappear?
No, like.
You don't understand where we are now.
In our local government area, there's now a curfew of 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. until further notice.
Look, cultism is gangsterism.
Yeah, it is.
It's criminals who come together and use their numbers to perpetrate crime. Now, it's worse. When they were confined to the campuses, it was manageable. It was student versus student versus 1 or 2 locals at times. But when they took it out of the campus and they started bringing people, bike riders,
all sorts of people, yeah,
it became a free-for-all.
Horrible issue.
I got stranded somewhere. My car had a bit of an issue sometime in December around the National Theatre. And of course, trust them boys, they came out. And there was a way, the first set that came, and I spoke to them, and they started helping me. The second set that came, there's a way they greeted those ones, and I just laughed and I smiled. And I said, they don't carry and reach here too. Like, it's there too. And
yeah, it's wow. Right on the road.
And they're
really
just
horrible.
there on the streets.
Yeah.
You know, they're on the streets, the area boys, the mechanics. And
everybody.
So what do you expect? The bulk of the violence I hear about now, beyond Ondo State, anywhere in Nigeria, is driven by colors. It's driven by cultism. It's a big problem. It's a can of canker worms. It's a keg of gunpowder.
It definitely is horrible. But the governor has now put a curfew on our local government. Now moving on from that and going on to Oyo State, where the governor has insisted that those behind the Ibadan stampede will face trial, whether they like it or not. It said that people that are responsible for the lives of those 35 minors are going to face trial. Now, there is now a lot of conversation around this matter. And why I said so is because after a lot of things that are popping up, the event had not even started when the stampede happened. So, can you really
pin it on the
organizers?
Well, I think that's going to be a matter that will be determined by the law courts. It's going to be interesting because that's going to be their own defense.
Yeah, because it's a very interesting matter. I was even listening to one person that was explaining that when the crowd, it was supposed to be in the compound of Agidigbo FM, that the owner of the Agidigbo FM was one that said that he should use the school, and then people were there from like 4 a.m. and the man came around 6:30 a.m. and told them that, you know what, this crowd is even too much. Okay, so they had said, I think they were going to give about 2,000 people or 5,000 people 5,000 naira each, and that out of his own pocket he had made tickets for people, so that he said that, and he had announced that is when the ticket finishes, whoever does not have a ticket is not getting the money. However, when he saw the crowd at 6:30 a.m. that morning, he had come to announce that it was not happening anymore because the crowd was horrible. And he went, the next time he was going to he heard that there was a stampede. So the organizers or the people that wanted to give them money were not even at the venue yet.
Okay, so that's not a defense. That them not being at the venue is not a defense. The fact that they asked people to come there, and there are videos that have surfaced. For instance, the woman, a mom spoke to some bloggers online or some influencers online and said that she didn't ask for a crowd to come there and blah, blah, blah. And a few days after, a video surfaced. Might not work for them. That's the scary part. Personally, being someone that has dabbled and still dabbles into such events, I hope that the organizers will not be used as scapegoats. I hope that they come out of this.
I really hope so.
And that they can go back to helping people, because the world needs a lot of people like them. And I know that their intentions were pure.
So
nobody's talking about the unruly nature of the people who came there. So the people now, who were alleged to have been throwing their children.
Yeah, so I actually
over
saw
a video.
I saw a video
over the
where people were throwing their children over the fence. Apparently, it was in the throwing that some children landed on their heads. And some children, do you understand? So I'm like, at this point, where do these people get arrested?
So those are the videos.
Do you understand?
You don't understand. Those are the videos that they
That's
should
where
use
those things need
for part of their defense.
Why are you throwing your children over the fence?
Look, we get to the bus stop, we won't queue. Thank God that BRT in Lagos, you have to queue to get in.
Yeah.
But you get to the bus stop beside BRT, which is not a BRT bus stop, and a big bus pulls up. There's pushing and shoving, and everybody's... Didn't you see it during Murphy's evil tenure where people were trying to get money from the banks? Mm-hmm. There was a particular video of a woman that actually crawled on the fence and everything. That's who we are. Everybody wants to use force. Everybody wants to, fight their way in. Like, oh, you think you're stronger than me. And it becomes a thing. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we will look at it holistically. Look at the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Because I think some of those parents who need to be arrested.
So if those videos exist online, those are don't come with the defense of we didn't ask them to come before this time and we were not there. That's not your defense. Your defense is the ones that even came before time. This is what they did to their children. And they did it because they wanted to get an undue advantage. People slept there overnight because of 5,000 naira.
Now there's no 5,000 and they're dead children. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, moving on from that, Governor Zulum has now renamed the Borno University. Is now called Kashim Ibrahim University. Is the first governor of northern Nigeria.
Yeah, that's a thing that the governor has the powers to do, and it's good to also immortalize, people who have done well.
Yeah,
so I am assuming that he must have done well enough for Zulum to want to rename a school after him.
Yeah, and still talking about the north, 2 people were killed and 4 people injured as a bomb exploded in a school in Abuja today. Apparently, according to reports, it was said that a child actually brought that explosive to school.
Yeah, I heard. I think it was yesterday, right? I think it was yesterday, because I saw this news very late. Anyway, bottom line is that it's something that the authorities need to look into. We can't go back to the era of places not being safe, especially in places like Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and the others. Because at some point we got to a point where we were all afraid to go into public spaces. Churches were more or less shut down, or were screening people. They will search you before you get into a church or a mosque and everything. We can't go back to that era. And where did that child get the IED from? How did that happen?
So, this, according to them, they're saying that this was an Almajiri school, and the explosive was brought by a student that came into the school from Katsina State the day before. Now, the explosive was detonated at the point where the boy was showing the object to another child in school. So,
you see, the people that use these children, it will not be well with them.
So it's the two people that were shown, the boy that was showing him and the other one that was seeing both of them. One of the boy that brought it to school died instantly. The second boy died later at the hospital. Now, what does that tell me? It shows that I'm not sure the boy even realized what he brought.
That's what I'm saying, that the people who are using children for this dastardly act, it will not be well with them. And I'm really hoping that they can catch them, because it should not become a pattern. There should not be a system now where
it means that he probably had it
they're
at
going
home,
after these vulnerable
or
kids.
His parents had it at home, and then he just took one and wanted to come and show his.
It's probably not that. It's probably that so-called parent said, take this thing to school. It could be anything, Dolupo.
But if he took it to school, was he supposed to?
Do you think
kill
they care?
himself?
Are you even sure it was his parent?
True.
These people exploit young children now. It's the same way they were used to cause chaos during the so-called protest last year.
Yeah, Tolakwa Rogers says we should also start looking into securing our borders. Yeah, I agree. But you know, this story is very, very funny, because it's like a child bringing owning a new toy and then bringing it to school like Jigal and wanting to show their classmates. That's the way this whole story seems like.
That's the way you want to see it, Dolupo. It could be different too, because I have seen and heard stories where they pick on women, they pick on children, and you know they indoctrinate them and tell them, oh yeah, go and do this and go and do that. So it might be beyond the innocent. It might be that the child just knows that they said, take this to school, go and show it to your friends. It might not even be that they are his parents or anything. I want us to keep our minds open, because criminals think like that. They open their minds and they exploit people, and they're using it. Look, over the weekend,
he doesn't even live in Abuja. It's so sad.
In the last couple of months, you know how many women have been caught with ammunition that they are going to supply these terrorists up north? Yeah, and it's women that they are using more. Because you know why? Because most times you don't look at women like that. Most times security people will just be like, let her go.
Exactly. It's just a very, very sad incident. Anyway, the Nigerian troops have announced that they've neutralized the gang that is responsible for killing soldiers in Rivers State.
Yeah, kudos to the troops there. God bless the troops. Because we can't let these things, we can't let them thrive.
They cannot thrive. Also, CBN staff that were sacked, I think there was talks of about quite a number of people. The new CBN governor had, retired and sacked quite a number of people. These people have now headed to court, demanding for a 30 billion naira compensation for being
30 billion for the account, you.
Anyway, they're saying that they deserve
30 BG.
They deserve 30 billion.
They want 30 BG
compensation for the sack.
If they were unduly sacked, I'm happy for them.
Abi.
But if they were not,
you will still pay lawyer money.
Yes.
Anyway, quickly before we go, we're like almost out of time. But before we go, quickly, there's a very interesting story where Mr. Peter Obi is alleging that his New Year message has attracted threats to his life, and he is quoting a spokesman of the APC directly, saying that the person had said that he had said too much, and whatever comes after it or whatever he's going to see, he should he should take it like that.
I saw Mr. Obi's.
So according to him, sorry, let me just read it. Felix Moka has said Peter Obi has crossed the line so many times and has it coming to him whatever he gets.
I saw Mr. Obi's tweet where he was asking if he had crossed the line. I respect his attempt at being an opposition voice, but I think he should be truthful in being opposition. You can play politics, though. Trust me, politics is an all-common thing, and you are smart about it. I saw Mr. Moka's video. I saw your video. Mr. Moka did not threaten Peter Obi. The transcript of that video is possible for you to get it also. Go to Arise TV, look for the Moka interview, and just click. There's a way you can get transcripts on YouTube videos and read it or watch the video yourself. He didn't threaten you.
So
he didn't threaten your life
BT
in any way.
says that Peter Obi is
He didn't.
Is an attention seeking, you know what? I don't know what.
Yeah, let's leave it
I
at
don't
you
know
know what.
what.
You know, but I make bold to say that Mr. Peter Obi, keep up your opposition moves. It's good. It might work for you, but no, you know that Mr. Moka did not threaten you. Didn't threaten your life. Didn't threaten your business. Didn't threaten anything. You getting what will come your way is in the way of response to the things that you said. You also made some allegations, and virtually everything you've talked about has been fact-checked and responded to by them. You know, so I think your response should be on their responses also, but don't sensationalize it, because you might end up rallying up the public that you shouldn't, you know.
Okay,
Stay
now
focused,
finally, before we go, a Nigerian shoemaker Liz Sonya has now completed a world record attempt for the largest sandals.
Well, congratulations to her. It's not a mean feat. These are things that people, it takes a lot of careful planning and resources and everything. And a lot of times when they do these things, it actually brings some good news to Nigeria, some positive vibes.
It does.
And to the person who's done it, their lives could change. Look at, what's the name? The lady that did the cooking thing.
Yeah.
Several people have beaten her record now, but guess what? Hilda is living the life. She's just
really
opened her own eatery, and she's doing a lot of training online for people. She's ambassador to a couple of brands. I think that baby is on her way to becoming a billionaire.
You people should do the longest podcast on. No, I'm good.
I'm down for that, though. Which one is the longest?
I don't know.
I'm actually down for it. That's not a bad idea.
Okay, we'll see.
I'm down now. At least we would have food and drinks, and there are breaks that can be taken in between.
Yeah, people will be coming in and you people just be gisting and talking at me. Okay, we'll see. Anyway,
we should look into it, though.
On that note, that's all we will be
Let's
taking today on the BoomBar. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything.
And thank you for that idea.
Okay, but BT says Shola can, but Dolupo can't. We must watch her K movies. Wow.
Sorry, is that what you said?
K movies? Nah.
Movies, without the K, but
baby,
you get it.
Movies.
This one, yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you people tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time. Have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.